we continue to encounter interesting footage from the region in the Ukraine-Russia war. From the exhausted Russian soldier giving up, close attack of 2 Russian soldiers on a Ukrainian position. Stay tuned, we will examine all of these together. Footage taken from the 30th Mechanized Brigade shows a Russian motorcycle infantry group moving near the village of Vasyukivka in the Donetsk region. Ukrainian forces have been tracking this group with drones for a while, carefully monitoring their movements. As the Russian soldiers progress along a specific route, the motorcycle group at the front suddenly halts. Meanwhile, another Russian motorcycle coming from behind is targeted by Ukrainian forces. The attack hits the motorcycle immediately, causing it to explode. As soon as the frontline Russian infantry notices the attack, they panic and quickly attempt to flee the area. However, Ukrainian forces continue to track them. Drones follow the fleeing Russian soldiers moment by moment, while Ukrainian artillery waits for the right moment to strike. Shortly after, Ukrainian forces launch another attack, targeting the retreating Russian infantry. The soldiers hit by the explosions are incapacitated at the scene. The only remaining Russian soldier, in a state of panic, starts retreating rapidly. However, Ukrainian forces are determined not to let him escape. Drones follow him and launch a precise strike. The soldier is hit by the blast and collapses to the ground. Meanwhile, the other surviving Russian soldiers, realizing that their motorcycles are no longer operational, try to flee on foot. The scattered soldiers head into the forest, and after a short while, they regroup and try to formulate a new escape plan. However, Ukrainian forces do not give them the chance to regroup. A new attack is launched with drones and artillery fire. As a result of the explosions, Russian infantry is severely injured. While it is unclear from the footage whether the soldiers are definitively hit, reports indicate that there are no surviving Russian soldiers left in the area. This operation once again showcases the Ukrainian forces' ability to carefully track enemy movements and carry out strategic attacks, effectively neutralizing Russian infantry. The 110th Mechanized Brigade detects a group of Russian infantry stationed in the village of Novo-Ocheretovate in the Donetsk region. Due to the current weather conditions and the surrounding terrain, the places where the Russian troops can take cover are quite limited, so they try to gain an advantage by fortifying small villages like this one. However, Ukrainian forces, after a reconnaissance operation using drones, accurately identify the enemy positions and put the attack plan into action. Ukrainian forces begin to target the Russian infantry moving in the open field, neutralizing them one by one. In the first wave of attacks, many Russian soldiers are hit, and the survivors quickly try to flee to places where they can take cover. However, the houses in the village are not strong enough to withstand heavy attacks. They can only provide temporary protection for a short period. Ukrainian forces start targeting the houses where the Russian soldiers are sheltering, launching successive strikes. When one of the houses is hit, the Russian soldiers inside realize they are no longer protected and quickly attempt to move to another building. In a panic, one soldier tries to shoot from a window while attempting to flee. Another group of Russian infantry heads toward a building they believe to be safer, but their movements are being tracked in real time by drones. Ukrainian forces continue to carefully monitor enemy movements and systematically destroy the houses used as shelters. As the buildings are rendered uninhabitable, Russian infantry search for new places to hide. But with each movement under Ukrainian surveillance, their chances of escape diminish. With the final attacks, all the shelters in the village are destroyed, and the remaining Russian soldiers in the area are neutralized one by one. As a result of this operation, the 110th Mechanized Brigade completely clears the village of Novo-Ocheretovate, securing the area. The strategic attacks and technological superiority of Ukrainian forces once again demonstrate their ability to make it impossible for enemy forces to maintain their positions, establishing an effective control mechanism on the ground. Two Ukrainian soldiers from the mechanized brigade are positioned near a trench in the village of Novolyubivka in the Luhansk region. Suddenly, they are attacked by two Russian infantry soldiers. The Ukrainian soldiers attempt to hold their position and defend themselves against the Russian assault. Despite the resistance from the Ukrainian soldiers, the Russian infantry continues with the attack. However, the Ukrainian forces decide to use drones for support at this point. A Ukrainian drone approaches the area and drops the first bomb, neutralizing one of the Russian soldiers. As a result of the explosion, the remaining Russian soldier starts running to fetch his injured comrade. However, at that moment, the drone drops another bomb. The second attack targets the Russian soldier, and after the explosion, the soldier is killed. The last remaining Russian soldier attempts to quickly escape the area. However, the Ukrainian forces do not miss this opportunity and exit their positions, opening fire. After a few shots, the Russian soldier is struck and neutralized. Thus, the two Ukrainian soldiers successfully repel the Russian infantry attack with the help of drones and strategic defense. The 155th Mechanized Brigade, while patrolling near the village of Novyi Komar in the Donetsk region, detects Russian troops moving in the area. In the footage, a Russian infantryman initially stands out. The soldier is sitting and resting in the middle of the battlefield without any attempt at fortifying a position. While being monitored by a Ukrainian drone, his lack of movement suggests that he may be exhausted from the war or unaware of the impending danger. His failure to react to the drone's sound or presence in the sky can likely be explained by the mental and physical fatigue brought on by the war. A few minutes later, the soldier begins to move slowly. However, after advancing a few meters, he enters the bushes and lies down. This indicates that he is not just taking a short break, but is genuinely too fatigued to continue. Ukrainian forces assess the situation and decide to launch a direct attack. The drone silently approaches the soldier's position and drops a bomb directly onto him. The soldier is killed on the spot by the explosion. As the footage continues, another Russian soldier walking alone in the area appears. It seems that this soldier has separated from his unit. After analyzing the route the soldier is heading towards, Ukrainian forces decide to strike. However, this time a different situation unfolds. The Russian soldier notices the approaching drone and raises his weapon to fire. The bullets miss their target, and the drone swiftly continues to advance toward the soldier. When the drone hits its target with precision, a powerful explosion occurs. After the explosion, the soldier remains motionless on the ground for a while, before eventually dying. As Ukrainian forces continue their reconnaissance in the area, they detect a Russian infantry group of 3 soldiers. The soldiers are moving through a forested area and stop at a specific point to gather. Instead of immediately targeting them, Ukrainian forces continue to monitor them for a while. By analyzing the Russian soldiers' movements, they try to understand what they are attempting to do. Soon, it becomes clear that these soldiers are heading toward a position in the area. Such strategic surveillance is crucial on the battlefield. Understanding the enemy's intentions and acting at the right moment, rather than rushing into an attack, increases the chances of success. Ukrainian drones carry out the first attack after a while, neutralizing one of the Russian soldiers. The remaining 2 Russian soldiers attempt to take cover by entering the forest. The Ukrainian drone drops a bomb directly onto their hiding spot. The explosion occurs suddenly, and one of the soldiers, in a panic, attempts to flee. However, with the second strike, he is directly targeted and neutralized. The last remaining Russian soldier, filled with fear, attempts to flee in an exhausted state. However, the Ukrainian drone does not give up. When a final bomb is dropped, the soldier tries to move for a while longer but collapses after being severely injured. Shortly afterward, he succumbs to his injuries and dies. The threat posed by drones to infantry moving in open terrain is significant. Ukrainian forces use their observation and analysis capabilities to patiently watch the enemy's movements and strike at the most opportune moment, neutralizing them. Especially in these areas where weather conditions are harsh The advantage provided by drones gives Ukrainian forces a great upper hand. The 155th Mechanized Brigade, with this successful operation, ensures security in the region and prevents the advance of Russian troops. The Shadow Unit of the 72nd Mechanized Brigade detects a Russian Tor-M2 air defense system in the Donetsk region. This situation generally indicates that the area holds strategic significance for Russia. The Tor-M2 is deployed primarily to provide defense against aerial attacks, suggesting that there may be a critical military asset in need of protection at this location. This could point to the presence of targets such as an ammunition depot, a military base, or a command center. Russia may have deployed the Tor-M2 to defend such points against Ukrainian drone and missile strikes. Ukrainian forces target the system with a Switchblade 600 loitering munition. According to reports, following the attack, the radar system of the Tor-M2 is damaged. In this way, Ukrainian forces successfully neutralize a critical component of the Russian air defense system in the region. The Switchblade 600 has proven to be of great strategic importance to Ukraine in the Ukraine-Russia war, as it provides a vital tool for carrying out effective strikes on high-value targets. Against strong Russian defensive elements such as armored vehicles, tanks, and air defense systems, the precision strike capability of the Switchblade 600 creates a significant advantage for Ukraine. As a force multiplier that boosts Ukraine's resistance, the Switchblade 600 offers the ability to carry out long-range, high-impact strikes. These drones can cause significant losses by targeting Russia's armored units, supply lines, and strategic positions. The portability and rapid deployment of the Switchblade 600 enable the Ukrainian army to implement a flexible and quick response defense strategy. This provides a key advantage in halting or delaying Russia's advance. One of the most critical features of the Switchblade 600 is its ability to strike the target with precision, creating high damage, and thanks to its warhead's power, destroying armored targets. It stands out as an effective option for Ukraine in attacks against armored vehicles and Russian military bases. Additionally, Ukraine uses these drones to penetrate enemy lines, target logistics points, and neutralize air defense systems. The Switchblade 600 has a major impact on Ukraine's strategic defense line, not only supporting direct military operations, but also providing a significant morale boost. The successful operations against Russia's formidable armored units have helped Ukraine gain international support and enhance its resistance. The Mountain Assault Brigade detects a Russian convoy near the village of Piatikatki in the Zaporizhzhia region. The footage shows that there is a vehicle at the front of the convoy, with 3 other vehicles behind it. Despite the Russian forces continuing to advance, the Ukrainian units keep monitoring the convoy and wait for the right moment. The first attack is made on the lead vehicle. According to reports, this vehicle is a BMD-4, an armored combat vehicle produced by Russia that can be airlifted. The BMD-4 is designed primarily for airborne troops, offering high mobility, armor protection, and effective firepower. However, the Ukrainian units focus on the weak points of this vehicle and target it directly, rendering the first BMD-4 ineffective. After the explosion, despite the loss, the Russian forces continue moving along the same route, but Ukrainian forces persist in their attack. The Ukrainian unit's second move targets another vehicle in the rear, which is successfully struck and destroyed. The remaining vehicles in the convoy decide to withdraw. In response, the Ukrainian units carry out a new attack with artillery fire, also destroying the third BMD-4 in the region. After the attacks, new Russian reinforcements arrive at the area in ATV vehicles. These vehicles head toward the area where the BMD-4 was hit, and soldiers disembark. The Russian infantry begins to spread out across the area, scanning the surroundings. However, the Ukrainian units are closely monitoring this movement and respond immediately. Initially, the armored vehicles are targeted. The Ukrainian forces, using drones and artillery, systematically destroy these vehicles one by one. After the armored vehicles are neutralized, the Russian infantry becomes the next target. Ukrainian forces carry out highly precise drone strikes, eliminating each Russian soldier individually. The Russian soldiers have no chance to escape, as Ukrainian drones continuously track them, monitoring every movement. The scattered Russian infantry, under the constant bombardment and effective operations of the Ukrainian forces, is unable to offer any resistance. As a result, all Russian infantry is neutralized. The 128th Mountain Assault Brigade, with this successful operation, repels a major Russian offensive. Through artillery strikes, drones, and strategic planning, they achieve a significant victory. Ukraine's attack leads to the successful destruction of armored vehicles and infantry. The 47th Mechanized Brigade detects a Russian infantry group moving west of the village of Nikolsky in the Kursk region. The area consists of open terrain, making it highly risky for infantry to advance as the enemy forces are likely to be spotted quickly. Therefore, the Russian troops attempt to infiltrate the area by using forested regions for cover. However, Ukrainian forces, thanks to advanced thermal cameras, are able to monitor their movements in real time. For a while, the Russian infantry moves through the forested area and then gathers at a specific point, briefly pausing. At this moment, Ukrainian forces assess that the enemy group has become an ideal target and launch an attack using HIMARS missile systems. The first strike neutralizes a large portion of the Russian infantry, while the remaining soldiers quickly change positions and try to reach safer locations. However, Ukrainian forces continue to pressure the Russian troops with intense artillery fire following the HIMARS attack. In such conflicts, long-range, precision-guided weapon systems provide a significant advantage. Ukrainian forces coordinate the use of HIMARS systems and artillery batteries to completely thwart the Russian infiltration attempt. As a result of the heavy bombardment, no Russian infantry in the area survives, and Ukrainian forces have secured full control of the region west of the village of Nikolsky.